They're a talented basketball team. They have great basketball IQ, and they play well together. And so they did everything they're supposed to do to get here, and they did everything they needed to do to win here. And so my hat's off to them. From our perspective, I asked our players before the game just to give me everything they had, that the scoreboard would take care of itself, and that I just wanted them to play with the heart and the effort that I knew they had. And that's all I would judge them by. That's all I expected. That's all I wanted. And I thought they stepped up and gave me that. Yeah, we made some basketball decisions that weren't the best, and we did some fundamental things that, were probably poorly executed. But the bottom line is, I can't ask for them to give me any more than they gave me. And to be truthful with you, that's how I measure them.
Hey, Bill, in the third quarter, when Zach picks up his second foul, in the second quarter, I should say, and then you guys wanted to hold for the last shot. The worst thing could have happened there, or I'm sorry, not him, Garrett picked up a second foul. Worst thing that could have happened for you guys is Tug to just get out and run. Is that what you were trying to avoid, going to halftime, gather yourselves?
Exactly. We had talked yesterday, we talked today, that, basketball's a game of spurts. The difference is we needed to make sure those spurts were only 3, 4, or 5 points. We couldn't let those spurts be 9, 10, 11, 12 points. And they got on one of those little runs, and we didn't handle it very well. And when the lead ballooned, that sapped us a little bit. But again, that's what happened. Credit to Tug. I'm not going to blame my players. Tug did what they needed to do. I mean, we have played other games against other teams that weren't able to spurt like that. Tug's talented enough to do it.
I think it was about 7 minutes left in the first quarter. You had 18 points. You wind up with only 23 the rest of the game. What was happening? The offensive flow wasn't there. Dried up. I
think, part of that is credit to Tug's defense. They picked up their defense a little bit. And part of it is that, we just didn't quite execute. Let me go back and answer that question a little bit different way. I thought for probably those first 8 to 10 minutes, we probably played at as high a level as we could have. And I thought we were as efficient and as smart and as well prepared as we could have been. And so that 8 to 10 minutes early on was at the highest level we could play. And I think what happened is when we leveled back off, Tug is not a team that allows you that leveling. And I think that's what happened. I think that's a better way to answer that question.
Is that the kind of pace you would have wanted, though, Bill? I mean, that first 6, 7 minutes, because, I don't think you would want this to get into the 70s, would you?
With this basketball, in years past, I would have said no. But with this basketball team, if we're making good decisions and we're making good choices about how we're choosing to attack the basket, I think this team's fully capable of putting points on the board. So now I didn't have a score in mind. I had it more in my mind. I was more focused on how we executed what we were wanting to do, whether that meant one shot in a minute or if that meant 6 points in a minute. I was okay either way if we were doing the right things for the right reasons. So now the point total I was okay with. These guys can score. We needed to make sure we executed at a high level, and when we didn't, Tug was right there to snap it.
Well, no 3 sweeter words do I know than back-to-back right now. Very tough ball game. If you'd have said at the start of this game we'd be ahead 58-41, I'd said no, this game's going to go down to the last possession. I thought early on they played zone. Their game plan was working, but I thought Aaron Muncy got us off to a very good start. I'm not sure. That's probably a career high for him. He got us loose. He got us going. In the second half, we stretched out there. Austin Brewer started getting to the basket. Mikey hit some shots right there. We were able to extend the lead. By the fourth quarter, those kids were feeling it. These 3 seniors right here, like I said, thing 1, thing 2, and thing 3. These kids know how to play. They know how to win. They've won so many games before, and I'm tickled to death with all 3 of them and love all of them.
Hey, Garland, tell me about the end of the first half when McCarty leaves, about a couple minutes left, and then obviously their best ball handler's on the bench.
yeah.
Were you hoping to get that shot down with about 2 minutes left and then jump into a press and try to span that?
Yeah, that was our game. That was it. You know, once he went out, I thought, well, maybe we can, hit him with a dagger right here. I think that's why they held it the last probably minute of the game. They did miss the shot, and we got an offensive look out of it. Usually I go rub right there, try to high screen on the ball and get Austin Brewer going to the basket. But I thought they did a good job on McCarty. George, I thought they did a good job. I think Aaron had George or Corey Dillon had George for the most part, and then we kind of switched up when he got in foul trouble. But guys, this was all these seniors right here. That was a big time effort by these guys.
One more thing, and I'll leave these guys to you. George was getting the baseline. He had three
Yeah.
shots at the baseline. Baseline was a minute,
Yeah.
a couple minutes. Made one shot, then the baseline disappeared, obviously.
Yeah, we talked about that at halftime. They started out on the right, and they were looked like they were trying to isolate George on the left, and we did give him the baseline once or twice. But like I said, we talked about that at halftime. One of the adjustments I guess we've made, second half team, yeah, and we did a lot better job of cutting the baseline, fronting him, had very good help side most of the night on him.
Talk about that a little bit, the communication factors that go into that. I saw you all talking out on the floor, and I mean, the whole Charleston Catholic, the one field goal in a 9.5-minute stretch, that's doing some work.
Yeah, that is. These guys, I tell them all the time, talk, going to be a big crowd out here, talk. They do talk, but, they don't have to talk every possession because they know each other so well that they know their moves, what they're going to do. It starts with chemistry here, and, that's three pretty good chemists right here sitting beside of me.
Aaron, talk about your defensive game. I mean, 1 minute you're guarding Nick George, a 6'3", 6'4" post player. The next you're chasing a guard around and picking his pocket and going the other way for a layup. I mean, it seems like you take a lot of pride in your defensive game.
Yeah, when Corey started having a little bit of trouble on George, I told him I wanted to guard him that way. I can stop him from getting a few buckets, and I just try to guard anybody I can. I can guard a guard, or I can go down low and guard a big man.
Which elevates the other? Is it your offensive game elevates defense, or your defense sort of translates to your offense on the other end?
I think my defense translates to my offense.
After you hit that first shot, did you just sort of feel it? Does it seem like you?
Yeah, I got lucky and I got lucky and got that bounce in. That got my confidence up. I think that's what Coach tells us all the time. It takes one shot to get your confidence up. That's what happened.
Rabbit, one player that's had a good tournament, not in the room, Thomas Bates. We got out-rebounded every game in the state tournament, -4 wins today, plus 12 today. He had 12 rebounds.
Oh, big time. He has really stepped up this year. He's a big, physical, strong kid. I saw Austin throw a pass in there to him, and I didn't know how he caught it, but he got them hands up and got it, and he finished. He is, if it wasn't for Corey, Austin, or Thomas, or Biggs, we probably, we might have been on the other side of this. But, two things you win in championships and in tournament, and you win it with defense and you win it with rebounding. That's on every board. I don't care if you go from pro down to college to midget league. You got to rebound, you got to defend, and Thomas Basin was a warrior today.
Talk about the rich tradition.
Well, anybody who's been to the state tournament has heard of Mingo County. I'll start with Tug Valley. They've won. Well, this is three. Williamson has won several. I was fortunate enough to be an assistant to Kurt on the last state championship in 2001. But you could go down the line in Mingo County. Birch has won 2 or 3. Lenore has been here, got beat, I think, one time by Herbie Brooks. Kermit has won 1 or 2 state championships. 2 state championships. Lenore's won 1. Yeah, 64. I forgot about that one.
We're wieners, that's what he's saying.
Yeah. They call Beckley the city of champions. I would put those titles, I don't know what it is, but I bet Mingo County is right there real close to them.